Well, Kansas women's basketball has lost their first game of the season, and it happened tonight in triple overtime against unranked Nebraska. The final score was 85-79. What in the world happened? Granted, we automatically know in triple overtime means Nebraska scored 6 more points than Kansas, but there's more than that. Nebraska had a 15-13 lead in the first quarter. Second quarter, Nebraska scored 22 points while Kansas scored 16. The third quarter, Kansas scored 18 while allowing 14. The fourth quarter, 13 of 9 in favor of Kansas. And honestly, in overtime, 25 points. In triple overtime, 25 points to Nebraska, 19 for Kansas. Kansas shot the ball not that great today. 33%. 90 for 91. 30 for 91 to be exact. 5 for 17 on threes. That ain't going to cut it. That's 29.4%. 14 for 19 on free throws. That's 73.7%. They had 67 rebounds. And 25 of those were offensive. 13 assists. You got to have more assists. 11 steals. 6 blocks. 22 turnovers, though. You got to take care of the ball. 24 fouls. 5 bench points. Nebraska had, that's 11, 14, 26. So the bench points do matter. They matter. Nebraska shot the ball better, but not much better. 38.4%, 28 for 73 overall. 10 for 28 on threes, 35, which is 35.7%. You got to make, when you make threes, it's pretty hard. 10 threes, it's pretty hard to lose. 19 for 29 on free throws. They got to make more free throws. 46 rebounds. Yeah, they got rebounded big time in this game. 9 of them offensive. But 20 assists. 9 steals, which that's not as good as Kansas. 8 blocks a game, which is better than Kansas. 18 turnovers. That's less turnovers than Kansas. And only committed 17 fouls. So in some areas it does make sense. Why did Kansas lose this game? So really, the Nebraska defense was too good in this game, and Kansas was not making shots. Now, going forward, Nebraska is now 10-3 overall. What do they have going forward? They host number 19 Michigan women's basketball. And they're going to move up with that win over number 6 North Carolina. So that's going to be a tricky game for Michigan. It's not a gimme game for either team on that. You got on the road to number 4 Indiana, that's currently undefeated. If they could already take down on an undefeated, granted this Indiana team has been in Kansas, why not? Though it's on the road. They have to play 6-8 Rutgers on the road. The on the road is scary. 9-3 Penn State. That's 4 games. And then they host number 3 Ohio State. That's a huge opportunity. And they're currently undefeated 13-0. So I expect Kansas now to drop out of the rankings with this loss. And I know it's their first loss, but let's be clear. When you lose to unranked, you should drop. When you're that close to the end of the 25, you should drop. Or pretty close to dropping out. Their next game is Oklahoma State on the road. That's 10-2. It's on the road, and that could be dangerous, but we'll have to wait and see. And I don't know what Oklahoma State looks like this year in terms of style. They have to go host 10-1 Texas Tech team, which you never know about records, people. You never know. Then they host number 24 Baylor, which I expect them to move up because of this Kansas loss and Arkansas losing twice. So then they got to go on the road to aim for Texas, which we know Texas started number 3 in the country. They lost 4 games and they played a tough out of no, out of conference schedule, and then Kansas, just for one name and one more game, they have to go on the road to number 23 Oklahoma. That's so as you in the Big 12 is very very competitive at the top. I mean Baylor's there, Oklahoma, Texas. They're I don't know what to think of them. So and of course Iowa State. That it's just that tough this year in the Big 12. Granted, I don't know who's exactly going to be the worst team in the Big 12. I expect that to be TCU, if I'm completely clear. But even then, their winning record 6-5 right now. So yeah, and granted, some of these unranked teams like West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Texas Tech, they may have great records with 2 losses or less, but their strength of schedule might not be up to par. So, I'm just saying that, and I know Kansas State was ranked at one point. They were, but then they lost to South Dakota State, and they never came back to the rankings. I mean, besides them losing, they lost to Arkansas initially. Then they lost. Then they moved up to one spot, but then they lost to unranked South Dakota State and never looked back. So that's just they're close enough to be a ranked team though, based what I've seen, despite no Ayoka Lee. So, anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. I see you guys later. It's on the road to 500 subscribers now. Let's go.